Good evening, everyone. I know it's probably very bright. Yeah, that's good. It's good as it probably can be. It's a bit too bright, which is a good and bad complaint, I suppose, in the way. So we're a minute or two early. We'll probably only be half an hour today because I have a bit to do. I have a good bit to do, and I'm a bit tired. I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm not in the best of form to be live streaming, I suppose, for a long time tonight. And so I'm probably going to hit the hay early tonight. So, but yeah, how are we all doing? So it's not going to be as long as live stream. So it's only going to be about to 6:30, bit before. But again, that's the reason why there's only a few things going to touch on tonight. No, I could talk. There's many other things I have to talk about. Obviously, coming up to the elections, many other things I could talk about. But we will be live probably Friday evening. And we can talk all about all the election results, and we can not all the results, but the first what's going on first of all with the election, etc., etc. So hello, Gordon, new profile already again. But yeah, so it's not going to be long tonight, so it's only going to be the 6:30. So again, there's 100 things I could talk about tonight, but we're only going to go with a few things tonight, particularly in relation to some instance that's happened across the country at the moment. Good evening, Sean. Hope we're doing well. So yeah, long story short, not a long stream tonight, basically. Long story short, there will be probably a long one now. We see how we go on Friday. With whatever information we have on Friday, because again, it'll be just totally focused on the election after Friday. The results and all that, and the different graphs, etc., etc. But long story short. So I suppose we start because again, I'm not feeling 100% to be live, and also I'm a bit tired. So they're the two things. So I said it would come on in for half an hour. Just not that great to be live, I suppose, for the moment. So yeah. So long story short, not that many things. Maybe we talk about one other thing if we get time, because again, I could sit here for another hour because there's obviously coming up to the elections. There's a lot to talk about. Etc. etc. So first of all, we suppose we talk about some good news, and that is here in Japan. As I said, Japan, and I've been saying this constantly about Japan, particularly that the birth rate in Japan is basically more people are dying than being born a year in Japan, and obviously that's very worrying because it is very worrying because eventually. Because again, the majority of people in Japan at the moment are elderly people, etc. There's no really young people. So the Japanese government are launching a dating app to boost birth rates. Now, I just want to briefly talk about because obviously Ireland has experienced it too, a 20% drop in births, etc., etc. The birth rate. So I suppose the main question here is: does Ireland follow? So does it work? First of all, because there's nobody else following suit if it doesn't work. So I don't know what this achieved, but I'd be watching it closely because, as you know, I've talked about this many times about the decline in the birth rate, and not even the decline in the birth rate, like people are not having children, etc., etc. It's the fact of the matter that a lot of women can't have children for many reasons, etc., etc., medical reasons and different issues we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But there's many things. There's a lot of stillbirths happening, etc. It's insane what's happening in the world. And the fact of the matter that you're silenced and you're not allowed to speak half of the stuff what you want to say on it. But again, we see what happens with it because if it does work, it'd be good because again, Japan is pretty fucked in every regard in this scenario, basically. If it doesn't achieve the results, how's my day going? Not bad, Gordon. Not bad at all. But so we see what happens in Japan. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it could work? And again, I suppose too, another part to it is too that I suppose for Ireland, because obviously in the dating website you have your personal information, etc., etc., and obviously for the government to have a website literally that they have you and the government basically has your information. Well, to be totally honest, the government kind of does anyway. They have your PPS number, etc. They can really look it up. To be totally honest, but you're kind of just giving it to the government again. But so I don't know. Would this make any difference? Like the only way I see making a difference, really. Again, the fact of the matter is the other side of the coin too, because the two sides of every coin. is that a lot of women can't get pregnant regardless of the situation because again, stillbirths, women can't reproduce, etc. Men can't produce either. Again, nothing's but you're not allowed to talk about why this is the case, but there's other issues along with it, basically. Hello there, Fiona. But I suppose it's good to see that something's been done because again, particularly Japan. Again, this would be Ireland, unfortunately, in the next maybe 50 years. It'd be the same as Japan because again, we have an aging population, and the people who are leaving are never coming back. Basically, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I know we're talking about the United Kingdom, but I do think it's very important to talk about the United Kingdom at the moment. So basically, long story short, because again, this has huge implications for Ireland. Because if Labour, the Labour Party in the United Kingdom, win, they will go back into the European Union. That seems like what Keir Starmer was going to do, which is going to cause a whole clusterfuck. Because again, the amount of agreements, etc., on Brexit with the Irish government, it's insane. So long story short, as you see, it's going to be the biggest probably landslide in 100 years for any party. So basically, Labour would have a huge majority in government. So the Conservative Party is basically just fucked. A lot of the high-ranking Conservatives are going to lose their seat. Everything's just fucked, basically. And again, it has huge implications for Ireland because the main thing at the moment, regardless if they're in the European Union or not, is the Northern Irish border. So either to be in the European Union or not in the European Union, it's going to have a huge impact on Ireland because obviously we'll be the centre of the debate based on it. So we shall see what happens, but it's interesting to see because it might give a glimpse to what Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, what's coming down the road for them. Because again, the Conservative Party, again, I know we're in Ireland, but I just want to briefly touch on it. Again, the Conservative Party, we've seen during the COVID lockdowns, the parties and stuff and down the street. We see Rishi Sunak being a multi-billionaire prime minister and saying that he understands the common man, etc., etc. And not even the national, so like I could go on even forward. Like the Conservative Party really fucked over everybody in England, basically. So this is just a taste of what's to come for the Irish establishment. That's what I'm trying to talk about it too, because hopefully this will be what we're talking about. Hopefully maybe Saturday or Sunday when the results do come out for the local authority and European elections, we'll be talking about Fianna Fáil literally on their knees, and then the next election, next year in the general election, to be on their knees even worse. So hopefully that's the case. Again, that's what's really good because again, it doesn't look good in any possible circumstance. And then Nigel Farage, Reform UK, is going to split the Conservative Party. It's a big mess. But again, it's their own fault, really, the Conservatives. Nobody else is to blame. But this was the funniest thing, but I know we're showing a Union Jack, but the Tory campaign, like the Conservative Party's campaign themselves, have literally shown the Union Jack flying upside down, which is in any country, it's a sign that the country's in distress when the flag's upside down. We've probably seen in the United States, particularly Gordon, you've probably seen people post photos of the United States flag upside down to represent Donald Trump being convicted of the crime, basically saying the country's in distress, that it's turned into a authoritarian state, basically. So the Conservative Party basically saying, basically telling everybody that we are in distress, basically, United Kingdom. Yeah, like no, but Rishi Sunak too. I don't know if you're talking about, but Rishi Sunak too is multi-billionaire, etc., etc. Yeah, like no, they already have. They were fairly fucked themselves over the last few years. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because that's what's coming to the Irish establishment, hopefully, in the next election. What's going to happen to the Conservative Party? Because again, there's going to be a huge defeat. The Conservatives are going to just be sent back to the Stone Age, especially now with Reform UK. They're going to take away votes from the Conservatives, etc., etc. But I'm just saying this is what's going to happen hopefully happen to the Irish establishment coming soon. But again, the worst thing about it is it does look like, and again, I'll talk with this briefly, it does look like it's going to be a totally independent, really, victory, more than any mainstream political party, more than the Labour Party, Social Democrats, etc. It's going to be independent all the way, basically, which is great. Because it seems to be going to be more independence elected to councils and elected to the European Parliament. So, which is a good thing. Because again, anything but the mainstream political parties, really, at this stage, I would say to you, to be totally honest with you. So we shall see, anyway. But that's what they're predicting at the moment. It's going to be a huge landslide for the independent man and independent woman, which is good. Because again, at the end of the day, the independent man and independent woman are out for them, like they're on their own. They don't get funded by the state, etc., etc. And they do deserve the support of the public. Now, I'm sure people have heard about this awful situation in America at the moment. So a 23-year-old woman was attacked by a dog. I don't know what kind of dog, but it must be extremely vicious to cause this injury. So God rest her soul. Because again, I've been saying this for years, and you probably heard me blue in the face talking about it. The dogs running around unattended, and just running wild around the place. Now that shouldn't be the case, and obviously it's the failure in the council and it's the failure in the justice system. This is allowed to continue. Dogs just running rampant around the place. It's not on. Now, we don't know, for example, was this dog just let one around the place by his owner, or was it belong to the woman? We don't know yet. But it's sad to see that happen, because again, there's been a lot of biting, people being bit by dogs, etc., etc. And we do have to start taking this serious, because again, a 23-year-old woman's life is gone because of this dog. Now, the dog, I think, was shot by the armed support unit. As it should be, obviously, doing this kind of thing to a person. But again, it just goes to show you the dangers of these dogs, and especially if it was a young child too. As again, this is a 23-year-old, a bit older than me, but an adult. So imagine a young child; it wouldn't really have a hope. It's dangerous. Like these dogs are dangerous, basically. So hopefully, because again, it needs to be. Not even here. There's laws against it, etc., but they're never enforced, etc., etc. That's the problem. And this is the result, unfortunately, that the councils and the government won't have proper enforcement of it. Because again, the majority of people who let the dogs just run rampant around the place, they're never brought up, and the guards never go to them to say, you should have your dog locked up or fine them. So basically, nothing's ever done about it. So hopefully, I know it takes a horrible tragedy to say to the government, to the Gardaí, etc., etc., to put in the public's mind too that this shouldn't be allowed to happen. We shouldn't be allowed dogs running rampant around the street. Again, hopefully, lessons to be learned in this regard. If it was her dog, but I don't know. I don't think it was her dog. Maybe I'm wrong, because I don't know what her dog do. But I say it was a strange dog that just came into her garden, something like that. But who knows, to be totally honest. But the fact of the matter is, this woman had her whole life ahead of her, and sadly was taken away in a very vicious manner. So yeah, and again, goes back to this. So we probably heard me talking a few weeks ago about Councillor Sarah Wiley. She was unfortunately bit 3 times in a week, or 2 weeks, I think it was. So she had to go to the hospital 3 times. Being bit by a dog. Now, obviously not as bad as what happened there, but just being even bit by a dog is a nightmare, because you have to get an ejection, etc. There's a lot. Now, this independent going for the council, Dennis O'Higgins, got bit by a dog too. And obviously then Sarah Wiley was bit 3 times. And then I think there was another councillor bit, or nearly bit by a dog. So in this constituency in Cavan, there's been about 4, like Sarah Wiley 3 times, and then he was bit. So that's 4. Then there was another one, I think, a bit or not bit, like nearly bit. So this is, as I say, this is a huge problem. Not even just for people canvassing, like just for children, say, selling raffle tickets, going to the door to sell raffle tickets for the local GEA club, take example, or for the local school. And, the dog comes out and bites them. Because, again, this is what happens. The owner set the dog upon them, too, in some circumstances. But it's very worrying. But I think that's really she wrote for tonight. We sit and chill for a few minutes. We're not talking much more tonight, because again, there's a lot to say. But we wait and see. I don't think it wasn't the mail. It was her dog, was it? It probably only came out in the last hour or so. So I don't know. And it's an American bulldog. Yeah, would they be dangerous enough dogs? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think stray dogs are doing it. Like, it is people's dogs, like people who own the dogs. I don't think it's stray dogs. Get all answer. It's in the Daily Mail. I have a look at that because I heard about it this morning. Um, and the kind of I'm only really after come back from work. I briefly just looked up to see what was happening. Um, yeah, I have the Daily Mail article. Woman killed by her pet. Yeah, well, it is a bulldog. Yeah, that'd be like that is a dangerous dog, a bulldog, American bulldog. It is. It's pretty dangerous. I didn't know it at the time. I retract that statement that I made earlier on. That I thought it was a stray dog. I genuinely thought it was a stray dog. Um, a bulldog too, which is it's very dangerous animal. I'm sure you would agree. And the worst thing about it all is this one was only after celebrating the 23rd birthday. Um, to tell such a young like cut so short. Um, so yeah, so it was her dog. It was American bulldog. So yeah, they are dangerous. Yeah. Um, but not even that. Just them only dogs. I think one of them that bit that councillor there. Oh, it bit Sarah Wiley. I think it was like a golden retriever or something like that, like what you commonly would see. Yeah. So so obviously it must have been just I don't know. We must have just seen red or something. Like it's hard to know what happened really. Because I wouldn't take that. Your dog. The thing that you feed, the dog that you feed, and you bring up and you have in the house, etc. I wouldn't have thought that dog would turn on the owner of the dog that looks after it, etc., etc. Didn't think that. See, in the majority of cases, just stray dogs. One with owners of dogs let them out and they just run wild, etc., etc. That's usually the majority of cases. What happens? There was one down the country. I think you remember a young child who was bit. He was 7 year old or something like that down in Wicklow or somewhere down there. In the majority of cases, just to let run wild all day. Um, but obviously, this is not the case in this situation. But still, nonetheless, it still raises questions. Taking American bulldogs and taking America, now in Britain, to have them banned. Yeah, like it's not that all dogs are bad. It's dogs I've known, like not known, but seen and stuff like that. And their pets and stuff like that. But again, they can just have a bad day. Again, the same as you and I could have a bad day and just snap. Well, not snap, not kill anybody, but just be like, no, or give out to somebody or something like that, or take a lump out of something, shout at somebody basically. So it seems to be what happened with this dog. He just was having a bad day, and that's what happened. So that's what it seems. Yeah, I'm just having a cup of tea. But look at that. We'll probably nearly leave it there for tonight. Hello, Drop It Off about. How you doing? How was your? I nearly forget Wednesday going. The Sinn Féin candidate in Bay was putting what? What's that? Fingers? Oh, pointing fingers. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, like I heard Mary Lou McDonald earlier on News Talk. Obviously, what do we join the common with? News Talk. Yes. She was complaining, saying, "Oh, people are, they're actually giving out. People are not very happy about immigration, and Sinn Féin are taking the brunt of it." Because again, we all know what Sinn Féin's policy is, and it's just open borders. They don't want any borders. They don't believe in borders. They want the whole world in, to be totally honest. And I'm as someone that would know about this. That's literally their immigration policy. Nothing has changed, because especially because when you hear just dead silence from Sinn Féin on immigration, just dead silence. Oh, it's you, Aaron, only. Jesus, not the first time. Right. Oh, I mean, I didn't know that, but it's your lookalike, yeah. To any spies watching, it's then. Right, yo. How sick you fought farmer cat? Oh no. Oh dear. You better not say that because they actually could be listening. Not the people in Finland, but the people in Dáil they could use this as an excuse to say, "Oh, there's a Finnish spy. They're trying to influence the Irish election. We're going to delay the election to next year. The European and all that. We're going to delay it because influence and Finnish spies are influencing the election. So it wouldn't give them because they generally probably wouldn't. They wouldn't. They probably would do it if they got away with it. Basically, that was the That's just put it straight. They would do it if they got away with it. They would say, "Oh, there's the spies in the country. We have to delay it by another 5 years." The dog bots. Yeah, but you get. Oh yeah, Leo's bots. Yeah, Leo used to have bots. They used to apply. Oh, you're doing a great job, Leo. Keep it up. And everybody else in the comments be like, "No, we're not." So you can straight away see where's the government bots. Like they spend millions on it. Getting government bots to try and give them good press, and that didn't turn out well. But anyway, we'll not be that much long. We'll only be another 20 minutes. Yeah, like there literally was. The government literally admitted it back at that time that they were getting government bots, Leo's bots, as we would call them, spin doctors. Yeah, they spent loads of money on just to try and give them to reply under their Twitter comments or Facebook comments because people were giving them a fucking eating. They were eating them out of it. If you look at Twitter at the moment, Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil's, things like nobody's really saying I support Fianna Fáil. They're doing a great job. Nobody's saying that. Nobody at all is saying that to them. So they had to get some kind of good press. The only way you can do that is just to have bot accounts that they can try and save face. Not so much on Twitter now, obviously, but Elon Musk took over. But back in the day, it was. Yeah, they did. They did. Leo Varadkar literally admitted that they did. There's now took up with the Irish Mail or something from it. Yeah, the Healy-Ways have really disgraced themselves. Like not Danny Healy-Way yet, but Michael Healy-Way particularly going into a mosque. The same as the Labour leader in the United Kingdom did, basically begging them to vote for them, basically, like, and then sitting up in high chair, etc., etc. Michael Healy-Way, etc., etc. I don't think that's proper order, to be totally honest with you. Especially because the way he was talking to them, etc., etc. It's like he's their high priest, etc., etc. But you could maybe just argue it was a misjudgment of character, whatever. But I don't think he knew what he was doing, basically. It's the fact of the matter that he never came out and said, I didn't mean to go in or whatever. He didn't justify why he went in. But we all know they're trying to get a few votes. But that's all they're looking for, especially election time. Yeah, Angela Way. And I wouldn't mind, but in that video too, she's the only woman that went in that was there. All the rest of them were men, Yeah. Oh no, it's the campaigner and the wild campaigner. And obviously Michael Healy-Way's sons, etc., etc. Down one of the Kerry County Council. So, that's why they're campaigning. It's a pity, but maybe they might cop on a bit. Because in fairness now, I give them the credit now. If you had to pick from either Norma Foley or Michael and Danny Healy-Way, I probably would pick them instead of Norma Foley because Norma Foley's just an antichrist. Because let's be fair, the alternative is that you vote Norma Foley. in the next election. And I don't think nobody wants number 40. But then again, you have, as you say, that lady from Kerry that's campaigning at the moment. I can never think of her name, but she's blonde hair. I know her to see. You never think of her name, but I know she's, because I remember the girls were trying to shut her up about a few things. That's how I know about it. Yeah, I know that. That's how I know it. I see. I often be watching the videos, etc. But I can't remember her name. But I know what to see. If I met her on the street now, I'd be like, "Yes, you're that candidate down in Kerry." Like, I know what to see. She was with Derek Bolloy a few times too. Like, I know I did. Like, if Fiona said the name there, Michelle Keane. Yeah, I can never see so that many people you have to try and remember. It's just my brain just wants away. It's just far too many names to remember, because I have to remember people when I go into work, etc., etc., and it's just too much to remember everybody's name and to try and get it right. But the fortunate thing in Kerry, again, this is the thing. Like, they're going to get it. There's no doubt about it. The literally the kings of Kerry nearly. They're not going to be got rid of very easily. Let's put it that way. So they're not going to be got rid of, I don't think, anytime soon. Yeah, it's kind of warm, but it's been raining off and on all day. So it's kind of been middling, basically. That's what that way. Because it rained a lot. It rained for 5 minutes, then it stopped. Then rained for 5 minutes, stopped. Rained, stopped, rained, stopped. But anyway, look at lads and lassies. I think we might nearly leave it there for tonight. Again, it's only a short stream because I'm a bit tired myself. So we'll probably be back Friday or so. Because again, we'll just briefly talk about the election. We'll not get the results, obviously, until probably Saturday or Sunday. But just to talk about the turnout, etc., etc. Friday. Obviously, the election, it will most likely be the evening time. At some duration during the evening. So I think that's what we live on. There's lots of other things I could talk about tonight, but again, I'm just a bit too tired. And stuff. Obviously, we'll be live Friday. We'll try and be live Saturday too to talk about results, because the end of the results will be pouring in a bit. So we talk about it then. So, okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. So I talk to you again, and goodbye for the moment.